What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We are set for a giant day in the markets tomorrow. A lot of stocks are moving in crazy ways. We had some big news come out today, and we have the FOMC minutes event tomorrow, which will bring in a lot of volatility. Make sure to stay with us to the end of today's video. But Tom, let's get right into it.
Yeah, the biggest thing was really the S&P 500 really took a big tumble today, Mike. Lots of stocks fell down. It wasn't just the indices. We had Apple pull back in a big way. Tesla started pulling back, and a lot of the growth plays pulled back as well. Like DraftKings was down 6.66%. That's a pretty bad number there. But going back to the SPY, it had a major pullback all the way down to 450 at the end of the day, as Fed Governor Lael Brainard actually had a speech today, and she came out and said that the Fed will be more aggressive in their tightening policies right now, and that they're going to be more aggressive raising interest rates, possibly going higher than the 0.25 percentage points that they usually raise it by. So that's very interesting, Mike. And she's actually pretty dovish in the past, so it's pretty telling whenever she comes out with statements like this.
Yeah, exactly. And for everyone who doesn't know what dovish means, basically Lael Brainard is someone who favors, as it says in the CNBC article, loose policy and low rates. And for her to come out and say, hey, inflation's kind of getting out of control, the central bank should really increase these interest rates, it's just not a great sign for the markets. At the same time, it's not like a horrible sign. It's just not the best news. And generally when rates are low, the stock market goes up. But if the stock market goes up too much and inflation gets out of control, then it's in everyone's best interest for the central bank to at least raise rates just a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely is. And even the 10-year index today, Mike, hit a new yearly high according to CNBC. And we can see the TNX was up 5.97%. It's been rising quite a bit lately. Let's look at that 1-year daily chart. You can really see it starting to really break out here. So we're definitely seeing these yields start to rise as well. You can see here's the article by CNBC. They pretty much put this out and said that it happened because Brainard signaled this, the Fed would obviously speed up their tightening. So definitely big to see that going up. And as we can scroll down here, you can see that a lot of these yields have been up recently anyway. So they're just all up across the board. And it's just definitely going to start weighing in more on the markets, Mike. Like as we can see, the S&P 500 does not like this news. The SPY dipped down today, and it wasn't just the SPY. Like I said earlier, a lot of the big tech stocks were also down. It's pretty telling whenever you have Apple and Tesla pulling back. Like Tesla was down 4.7% again.
Yeah, very true. And Tom, tomorrow is going to be a giant day. We have the FOMC minutes coming out tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Be prepared, guys. 2 p.m. Eastern time, FOMC minutes. I want to clarify, Powell is not speaking tomorrow. This is not a normal Fed event. This is basically just a recap of what the top Fed leaders were discussing and looking at in the previous meeting. This event gives us more clarity about what the leaders of the Fed are actually seeing while they're making their decisions with interest rates and everything else like that.
Yeah, definitely. And with the way Brainard came out today and said that, we might be tightening at a more aggressive pace, that makes me feel like that we might see more of a hawkish tone come out of this FOMC minute. So if that is the case, the market might end up taking another dip, kind of like it did today. But I will say, sometimes these minutes and stuff push the market back up. So we'll have to see what is said exactly. But, with the way it moved with Brainard's tone today, I would have to almost lean that the market might end up dropping. And like I said, we're at a crucial support on the SPY right around 450 here. So it's definitely going to be a big event to watch for.
There we go. And then, Tom, I also want to talk about Twitter a little bit. What's going on with Twitter and Mr. Musk?
Yeah, this is awesome here. So Twitter had a great pre-market today. And then, of course, as the market started pulling back, Twitter kind of slowed down. It still held up above $50. But as we can see, I'm actually on Twitter right now. You can see, actually, it was trending on the side here where it said Mr. Musk. It just changed, though, as I clicked on the article. But as we can see, Bloomberg put a nice article out today. Elon Musk is joining the board of directors, which is interesting. And, I know a lot of people were kind of talking about Elon Musk possibly mounting a takeover over Twitter. And apparently now this is not going to be possible capping his ownership at 14.9% while he's on the board of directors. So that's pretty big. He's not going to be able to take Twitter over, but of course he's going to have a big influence over them. And he was already doing some stuff on there today. So very interesting. And I know this has been trending all over the place, Mike. So it's definitely a big event still. And Twitter stock had a pretty good opening. I know it moved down as the SPY fell, but had a pretty good day in my opinion.
There we go. Yeah, I know like everyone's hyped up about Elon kind of joining Twitter, and it sounds like even the Twitter like current executive team is happy about it too, obviously, because one, their stock price boomed up, but still, when you have Elon on your team, that's a pretty awesome asset to have. So that's great there. And then Tom, like, what are you thinking with this Twitter price action? I know it's really, really hard to judge right now because it's up so much, and at the same time, you have kind of like an unbeatable catalyst.
Yeah, you do. Sometimes these catalysts go really well. And, with the way we moved this morning, I think Twitter has a pretty good shot to possibly continue up. I was pretty happy with the way it held above $50 today. I will say, though, if it does end up dipping below 50 tomorrow, I will, maybe put it on the back burner or possibly like look at maybe an intraday play to the downside or something like that. But I will say I'm glad it held above 50 today. I thought that was good to see. It was still up 2%, so that's great. Obviously, pre-market had a great move, Mike, all the way up to around 55. I would think tomorrow, if we could get up to around 55 again, I think that would make for a great move. So I'm not going to expect anything crazy. Like, I don't think we're going to go blasting above 55 up towards 60 or anything like that. But I could definitely see maybe a nice retest of 55 there.
All right, there we go. And then let's check out SAVE. Spirit Airlines is exploding. It's up 22.5% today. What's going on with this one?
Yeah, this is insane. It actually got halted at the end of the day, wasn't even able to close, but this is a pretty big event, Mike. So Spirit Airlines, it might get bought out by JetBlue. So JetBlue made a bid to buy them for roughly $3.6 billion. So that's going to be big. I know we've been hearing a lot lately, Mike, about these, you could say like lower end airlines like Spirit, Frontier, JetBlue, stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to see JetBlue buying them. I think that's going to be a pretty cool thing to look at. You can see here 2 budget carriers that largely operate domestically had agreed to merge early in February in a deal, but apparently, obviously now they're going to be looking at a different offering here. So JetBlue offered $33 a share in cash. So keep in mind, this is a brand new event. There's going to be a lot more news coming out with this one, but it was put out by the New York Times. So pretty big here, Mike. And, like you said, their stock exploded here at the end of the day. Ended up kind of, like I said, getting halted right before close. So we're not even able to really see the price action too in depth yet.
All righty. So, Tom, let's check out this earnings calendar for 1 second. I know there are not too many big earnings releases this week. Looking at the earnings chart, Tom, I know earnings season will ramp up in like a couple weeks or so, but really the main thing is just Tilray before open tomorrow.
Yeah, that's going to be the main thing. Tilray before open. There's not really anything too big. Levi's after close tomorrow might be pretty big too. But other than that, Tilray is going to be a pretty big event. Like we've been talking about the past couple weeks, there's been some legislation going through Congress. Tilray did get a bit of a pop today, Mike. That IV started kind of flying up midday. So we'll have to keep Tilray on the radar, of course, and it's going to be pretty big. They're kind of hovering right around $7. And if you look at Tilray on the Max Weekly chart, I mean, there's a lot of upside potential here. Just within the past couple of years, Tilray was up to around $65, $66. And as we know, they hit that high of 300 a few years ago. So, Tilray might, some like whenever they go on a run, sometimes they really explode. So hopefully those earnings end up going well.
And Tom, with the last thing, what are the most important levels to watch out for with the SPY for tomorrow?
Yeah, for tomorrow, it's going to be big. We have the FOMC minutes coming out late in the day. So we'll have to see how the SPY moves in the morning. We're sitting right around this big 450 support. I would say if we hold up above like 449 to 450, I think the SPY might hold its ground and go back up. Like we can see here, it did end up popping up a little bit at the end of the day. So maybe we'll hold our ground here. But Overall, I'm a little bit worried, Mike, because we moved down today. Brannard was speaking, and this is a pretty big support. So if we break below 449, I'll definitely look for a bigger sell-off towards like 448, maybe 446 after that. But if the SPY does start rising, I will say there was a lot of price action today, right around 454. So I think that'll be a pretty good resistance. And then above that, I see a bigger resistance at 456 and then 458 after that. So seems like the SPY is like moving at every $2 increments here, Mike. And like I said, 450 though is going to be the main level.
Sounds good. And before we move on, I want to give a giant shout out to our member of the day, Rush. You're pretty new to the chat, but you've been a pretty awesome member so far. So huge shout out, Rush. Thanks so much for all of your positivity within the Stocked Up Discord chat. But Tom, let's get right into these momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have Disney to the downside.
Yeah, unfortunately, Disney started tumbling right back over today. If they break below 135, I'll definitely eye up a quick day trade to the downside.
All right, with the next one, we have Netflix.
Yeah, NFLX here. Go ahead and make them break below the low of day, right around 377 even.
And with the last one, we have Microsoft.
Microsoft. Yeah, Microsoft did great today, Mike. The bot really had this one. Go ahead and make Microsoft break below 310. You could maybe say 309.90 right there.
You know it. So we are watching Microsoft, Netflix, and Disney for potential day trades to the downside tomorrow, only if they break below the levels Tom listed. But Tom, just like you said, let's showcase that bot play with Microsoft today. We can see the bot call out the Microsoft 310 strike put options at $218 each, and it ran all the way up to $303 each in just a couple hours. It's a 39% pop. If you trade options, check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. The bot is on fire. The bot is on fire. Over the past, I don't even know, Tom, almost 2 weeks, it has just been calling out amazing call outs. So if you trade options, it's definitely worth trying out. Daily option swing trades, day trades, options order flow bots. You can chat with Tom and myself all day long. Bonus day trades, you can cancel at any time, and we have a coupon running. There's no reason not to try it out. Again, it will be that first link in the description and the comments down below. But Tom, do you have any last minute setups you're watching for tomorrow or anything specifically?
Yeah, I'm really worried, Mike. You know, the market took a bit of a tumble today, but I will say some sectors that I'm keeping my eyes on are the cruise lines. I will say Carnival Cruise Lines had some pretty good news this morning where they had record bookings. So they ended up popping early in the morning up to around $21.50. We also saw Royal Caribbean do well along with NCLH. So I'm definitely keeping the cruise line sector on the radar. You know, they did end up pulling back today as the market started falling off, but I do like the way they held that support here. Like NCLH held up at $22. We can see Carnival Cruise Lines also ended up holding right around the $20 support. So overall, I like the price action here, and I'm definitely going to be watching them because, like I said, they had record bookings, and that's a pretty rare event whenever these cruise lines come in with those types of numbers like that.
Here we go. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you're new here and you liked it, consider subscribing to see our videos more often. Also, let us know what stocks you're watching in the comments down below. A lot of the time, the stocks you guys comment down below, we end up covering them in the next video. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's have a great week.